And welcome to WDAY Weather and Ag in Focus. Thanks for joining us today. 103 in the afternoon, temperatures in the upper 20s under mostly sunny skies out there. I'm meteorologist Justin Storm here with the one and only amazing talented Ag Director, Bridgette Readel. Bridgette, how is this beautiful afternoon treating you so far?
You know, it is going very, very well. So what do you say we wrap this deal up because let's get outside and enjoy it. There's sunshine, hardly any wind. It's actually quite nice.
Oh, it is absolutely beautiful, and I got a lot of nice days in the forecast for the week ahead. And I know everyone is wondering, what does it look like for Tuesday and Wednesday of next week for the Ag Expo, because myself, Dean, and Bridgette are going to be there next week.
We are. We'll be there on Tuesday. We are going to be speaking on Tuesday. That would be November 29th, and we'll be doing that at about 9:30 in the morning, I believe we're on their agenda. I'll double check that time, just to be sure.
Yeah. Looking forward to it. So we'll touch on that and the forecast throughout the show. And as well, we have our ag topics and headlines that we're going to get to today. Had a couple of those involving Amazon being fined for unsolicited sales of pesticides. We've got changing soybean color standards and my absolute favorite, electrocuting weeds. So we'll touch on that. And I think there was one from last week that we didn't get to. Bridgette, I don't remember. Did we get to talk about the Ukraine dairies running on generators due to the bomb strikes?
We maybe haven't, but let's get to that one as well. We do have a guest. We're going to be joined by Brady Weisenberger. He is coming to us from Ihry Insurance. So we'll get a chance to visit with Brady here at our 120 segment and see what's going on in their world today, because, you know, maybe we don't think about the fact that farmers need benefits too, whether it's their health insurance, etc. So let's visit through that and try to help answer questions that those out there farming might have. That'd be great.
Yep, definitely. And you can always find Weather and Ag in Focus right here on WDAY 1 to 2 o'clock in the afternoon, Monday through Friday. You can also find us on Facebook and YouTube Live. Just search WAG in Focus or Weather and Ag in Focus. You'll find us there where all of our shows are archived, and we have a nice little selection of our favorite interviews that we've done throughout the past year. And as well, you can find us on Acres TV through the Hefty Seed streaming company. Unfortunately, not today, though. We're having a little bit of technical issues, and we had the same thing yesterday. So if for some reason you're searching for us on Acres TV and you don't see today's episode, check us out on Facebook or YouTube. You'll be able to find it there. Now, if you want to join in on our conversation anytime during the show, feel free to give us a phone call, 701-293-9000. Me and Bridgette would absolutely love to hear from you on what's going on out there. If you have any questions or, again, just want to join in the conversation, or you can reach us via email at weather@flagfamily.com or ag@flagfamily.com anytime during our show or after the show. We're going to get updated by ABC News, and then we'll come back with a check out the forecast and an ag topic or two.
From ABC News, I'm Richard Cantu. The largest of 12 unions representing freight rail workers rejected the latest contract proposal, boosting the likelihood of an economy-crippling strike next month.
The White House not saying what, if anything, it can do if a rail union strikes and slows or stops major national shipments.
Our team is preparing and planning for all possible outcomes, even as we continue to work to avert a shutdown.
Biden Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre saying the president's team is working with the union and management, trying to find compromise to avoid paralyzing rail shipments. Andy Field, ABC News, Washington.
Labor pains in Pretoria, South Africa. Public service workers nationwide staging a one-day strike following the collapse of contract talks with the government. It's a pre-Thanksgiving parade of court hearings involving the last president today.
Lawyers for former President Trump will be fanned out across courtrooms in 4 separate legal proceedings. The Justice Department is asking a federal appeals court to remove the special master appointed to review materials seized from Trump's Florida Golf Club. Here in New York, the defense has started in the tax fraud trial of the Trump Organization, and the state's attorney general continues her civil case. Manhattan federal court will hear from E. Jean Carroll, who is suing Trump for defamation. It all underscores the legal challenges Trump faces as he mounts a new run for the presidency. Aaron Katersky, ABC News, New York.
Russia stepped up its shelling of Ukraine's electrical grid over the weekend.
More than a dozen blasts rocked the area around the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant this weekend. A fresh barrage of military strikes prompting an urgent warning from the UN nuclear watchdog that those responsible are playing with fire.
ABC's Martha Raddatz. A federal judge in Los Angeles sentenced David Joseph Bunevich to more than 17 years in prison on his guilty plea to bilking investors out of $35 million. You're listening to ABC News.
Spoiled supermarket meat, sawdust like fillers, artificial preservatives?
Hold on there. I'm veterinarian Dr. Marty Goldstein. You don't want your dog eating any of that. These potentially harmful ingredients are found in many of today's popular dog foods, but not in Nature's Blend, a freeze-dried raw dog food with real cuts of meat, omega-3 rich seeds, and superfood veggies and fruit.
Nature's Blend is designed to help support your dog's playfulness, healthy skin, soft coat, easy digestion, and youthful mobility.
Your dog will go bonkers over Nature's Blend savory flavor and texture.
For a limited time, save up to 54% off Nature's Blend and receive a free festive holiday dog sweater with select orders. Go to drmartyspets.com/Marty or text Marty to 511-511.
I guarantee it with a 100% 90-day return of your purchase price.
Offer available with select orders while supplies last. Text fees may apply. You may receive up to 1 additional text. Text stop to opt out.
Food, football, and fun in the fall. Tailgaters brings it all together with their all-you-can-eat lunch buffet from 11 to 2 weekdays, or dinner and an ice-cold beverage after work. Tailgaters is the place. There's no better place to watch football on Saturday and Sunday. Each game day, get their never-frozen, fresh-made half-pound burgers with fries for just $10.99. Domestic pints and bottles just $4. And live music this Wednesday night at 7 with a pre-Thanksgiving variety jam session at Tailgaters, corner of Main and University, downtown Fargo.
Caring for friends or family members who have disabilities or chronic or terminal illnesses can be exhausting physically, emotionally, and spiritually. That's why it's important to care for yourself. Respite services can provide that brief, beneficial break from caregiving. This help is available to families and caregivers providing ongoing care to individuals of any age. We are here for you, so you can be there for them.
To learn more, visit hhs.nd.gov. Sponsored by North Dakota Health and Human Services, aired in cooperation with the North Dakota Broadcasters Association and this station.
Are you suffering from neuropathy? Do you experience stabbing, numbness, tingling, or burning in your feet? Are you tired of sleepless nights and avoiding life due to pain? If you've been diagnosed with neuropathy or have pain or numbness in your feet, call us right now before it's too late at 701-929-7505. Again, 701-929-7505. Neuropathy is a very serious and progressive disease where your nerves start to break down. It can lead to balance problems, complete loss of independence, and in some cases, amputation. Our program addresses the underlying causes and doesn't simply mask your symptoms with medication. In fact, many patients start to feel relief from their symptoms within weeks. There's no surgery and no use of prescription drugs. Pick up the phone and call now at 701-929-7505 or find out if you're a candidate for our neuropathy program that has changed thousands of lives. Call us today at 701-929-7505.
And welcome back to Weather and Ag in Focus. I'm meteorologist Justin Storm with WDAY Ag Director Bridgette Readel. Thanks for joining us this afternoon, 1:12. If you'd like to join on the conversation that we're going to be having, give us a phone call, 701-293-9000, or you can drop those comments or questions via email, weatherorag@flagfamily.com. We're going to start off the show by diving right into something that's kind of gaining a little bit of traction in the media with all the layoffs between Tesla and Amazon. Well, it seems like it's not just the layoffs that Amazon's getting a little into hot water about. Bridgette, what's going on with them being fined for unlicensed sale of pesticides?
So as someone in the ag community, when I think about Amazon, I don't think of them as my first place to go to buy pesticides for the coming year. My guess is, even though that the information we got was not very clear, my guess is that this had to do with the fact that Amazon was probably selling products to homeowners. And when they were doing that, you could click and fill your shopping cart and have small bottles of items sent to you. But Amazon wasn't licensed for that. They don't have a commercial applicator's license or a pesticide applicator's license for the state of California or any other states that they're operating in. So that's a problem. they are about to be fined $4.97 million by the state of California. And they will rectify that practice. They will make sure that they have the right licensing, but that was just a big no-no on their part. Maybe they didn't realize that there's specific rules. You can't just sell everything.
Right. So were they just selling it in California, or what do you think the odds are that other states jump on board with this and they're like, hey, California just got nearly $5 million. They were selling this stuff in our state. Why don't we jump on there and sue them too?
I have a feeling it has a lot to do with the headquarters where they're based out of, and that's why the fine is assessed in that particular state. And also, California, they have a very stringent Department of Ag. It's literally their own version of the Environmental Protection Agency that rules over all pesticide applications. I have a feeling that California decided this was the best place to take that opportunity, if you will, and make sure that the licensing comes around the way that it should. And I'm not opposed to accurate licenses. I don't think that we should be selling pesticides in places they don't belong. And if you're selling unlicensed just out to the general public, you may have folks that are unaware what are the right ways to use that product, how to use it safely, where it should be used. And so I think it's best that, granted, that's a lot of money, right? It's almost $5 million. But I do like the idea that they're being kept in check and that things are going to go to the right places. So that's going to work out for the best for everyone.
Right. How hard is it to get one of those licenses to be a seller of those different kinds of products? Is this like a pretty drawn out process, or is it not too difficult for a company like Amazon to just go out and like, oh, we kind of got in a little hot water, let's just grab this license real quick and continue what we're doing?
You know, actually, it's going to vary by state. Here in North Dakota, if you contact the Department of Ag, they'll walk you right through that licensing and that application so that you would have what's called an EPA establishment number for your location, so that you, in fact, are licensed with the EPA as well as the state of North Dakota, so that you can, in fact, go ahead and sell that product. EPA establishment numbers are also most important when you're dealing with bulk handling. Let's say you have tanks of 1,000 or gallons or higher on site. When you look at even using local hardware stores or Fleet Farm to buy your products for your yard and garden, even they have to have a license so that things are stored accurately. I mean, we don't keep the ant control products next to the candy bars, right? There's got to be some delineation between that. And we got to plan to put things in the right place. And then also you need to have folks on site that remember you can't store those products outside below freezing temperatures, etc. So all locations that carry, whether it's a homeowner product or an ag chem product for the farm, they have licensing to make sure they're doing it in the right place.
Right. And you had mentioned, I don't know how deep into the bowels of Amazon you were diving in there, but were they just doing like the small container products like you buy for your house, or were they doing like a big bulk supply? And the route I'm kind of trying to go at, if they get this licensing, is this going to become a new available option for larger scale operations? They're like, well, hey, look, Amazon's now in the pesticide. I can get thousands of gallons at a much discounted price because it's Amazon. They can offer you a lower price because they can order so much higher amounts. Is that going to be an option, or what does that look like, or your thoughts on it?
I really think that would be a very far-fetched situation for Amazon to do, because once you start thinking about the size and scale of an operation of a farmer, and again, even though average farm size in North Dakota says it's only 1,500 acres, reality tells me it's more like 5,000 to 6,000 acres of what someone's actually doing for farm size when they're farming and not having a secondary job, etc. So there's a whole lot of loopholes there. But the reality is, when you are moving that size and scale, Amazon's not going to be able to provide you with their own semi trucks to deliver product because they don't have enough trucks to do it, right? So I think buying from your local retailer, because then you have someone that you know is knowledgeable to answer your questions, someone who's close by when it comes to returns, or if you need to swap out for a different product. And if you want to buy on the internet, there are plenty of internet vendors, but they're also set up for delivery of larger bulk size products, or they'll have you come and pick up. So there'll be differences versus what Amazon could do.
And I know we got to head to our break to get our guest on in the next segment.
But
I got one more question for you here quick. And this has just popped up in my mind because I'm not really sure. Maybe we had mentioned it earlier in the year back when it was a little more relevant. But let's just say average, or not average farm, but just a nice round number, 1,000 acres. If you're using a pesticide or something like that, let's just be really general. What does it kind of look like? How many gallons are you using per acre? And obviously it's probably going to depend a little bit, but what would that look like? What's the average person going to end up running through based on the size of their acreage?
We're going to have to do some bigger math, and I know you're in charge of the math on this show, Justin, so get out your calculator. But we're going to have to figure out your crop. Okay, so are we just talking about wheat, or are we talking about soybeans? Are we going to put a pre-emerge herbicide down before the soybeans emerge from planting? Are we going to do a post-emergent? Will we need an insecticide? Will we need a fungicide? So those are all things that we've got to factor in before we decide how much product am I going to need? And what are my driver weeds? Which are the ones that I've got to decide what I want to control pre-emerge versus post-emerge versus later after I've harvested my crop as well. So we got a few more steps to take before we have that ready. But you and I, we could put together a farm plan. Maybe you want to use that on your farming simulator game to get the best crop out there. You never know.
That sounds like a good idea there. Well, we'll figure that out, and that'll kind of lead into something I want to touch after our guest. Electrocuting weeds, weed control. That'll be a very fun conversation. But when we come back, we're going to get Brady Weisenberger on the line with us from Ihry Insurance, see what it is exactly that's going on over at Ihry right now. And if you want to join in on our conversation, ask some questions. Maybe you work with Ihry and you got a specific question, give us a phone call, 701-293-9000. Weather and Ag in Focus. We'll be right back.
Missed Black Friday? Dell's Cyber Monday event starts now with deals on powerful business tech. The savings start now with up to 50% off on select business PCs powered by 12th Gen Intel Core processors. Don't forget special pricing on the latest monitors, docks, and accessories, plus free shipping on everything and special financing with Dell Business Credit. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL for Cyber Monday deals. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
Let's be real. Mopping is a hassle. You have to fill the bucket, pushing a wet, heavy mop around, then cleaning the mop when you're done so it doesn't grow bacteria. A hassle on top of a hassle. Try Swiffer WetJet. With Swiffer WetJet, you start with a fresh pad and cleaning solution every time. And when you're done, you just toss the pad. Swiffer WetJet, the faster, easier, cleaner way to clean your floors.
100 years? You better believe that's a big deal. WDAY is marking 100 years on the air, and we're celebrating all year long. Listen as you hear the music and voices from days gone by. Legends like Earl Williams, Don Dresser, Boyd Christensen, Orly Knutson, Ed Schultz, Howard Graber, Mark Swartzell, and more. Did you know that back in the early days, WDAY had a staff of 38 musicians and entertainers? They did live shows and traveling talent showcases. Man, it's going to be a fun year.
The famous chips. The potato chip, the chocolate chip, the computer chip, the poker chip, the paint chip, and the windshield chip. Glass Doctor of Fargo Moorhead wants to remind you that the difference in temperature outside and inside your vehicle can make a little chip grow into a real budget buster. So make your repair or replacement appointment today at Glass Doctor of Fargo Moorhead. Call or go online at glassdoctor.com/Fargo. That's glassdoctor.com/Fargo.
Call the Glass Doctor, we'll fix your paint.
Planning one's own funeral or that of a loved one can be overwhelming and costly, not to mention extremely emotional. Hi, I'm Craig, owner of West Funeral Home and Life Tribute Center. At West Funeral Home, our staff will educate and prepare you for this journey and work with you to create a meaningful and healing experience, serving the Valley for 4 generations and over 100 years.
West Funeral Home and Life Tribute Center. Little things make the difference.
When love is shared, great things happen. After 15 years of the Subaru Share the Love event, Subaru and the retailers have donated over $250 million to charity. Get a new Subaru now through January 3rd, and $250 will be donated to charity. You get a new all-wheel drive Subaru while helping your fellow man. Stop in today. Muscatel Subaru, just off exit 1 in Moorhead. See Subaru.com for details.
And welcome to WDAY Weather and Ag in Focus. I'm Bridgette, Readel Ag Director, along with meteorologist extraordinaire Justin Storm. And today on Weather and Ag in Focus, we have a guest with us today from Ihry Insurance. Folks, I'd like to introduce you to Brady Weisenberger. Brady has an opportunity today to visit with us about all good things over at Ihry. And Brady, where would you like to start that discussion? How would you like to introduce yourself and your company to our audience?
Well, very good. Happy afternoon to y'all, and glad to be on here on your segment talking about Ihry Insurance and my role as Director of Benefits. And this time of year is always a crazy time of year, not just on the employee benefit side, but Medicare, open enrollment for health insurance, and a little bit about Ihry Insurance. We've been in business over 40 years, locally owned, and 15 local agents here in eastern North Dakota and West Fargo, Devils Lake, Hillsboro, Towner, Mackville, and Hope. So we are a multi-lines agency that focuses on service and right products, right people. And like I said, it's a busy time of year this year. I've been in the business 26 years, working with employees, employers, individuals, and glad to have a few minutes to visit with you and go through some questions and answers on what's important this time of year, or what's important with Ihry Insurance too.
So Brady, as we think about how this applies to our customers who are listening today that are part of Weather and Ag in Focus, and they're in the farming community, let's talk just a little bit about Medicare. I know open enrollment is coming. Who should be applying? How can they be doing that? Am I old enough? I mean, I'm 49. When do I have to start looking at this?
Well, Bridgette, Justin, myself, not that we're aging ourselves or underaging ourselves, but Medicare is a huge industry, and obviously the first thing I'm going to tell anybody that's turning 65 or 65 looking for Medicare supplement plans, do not call Jimmy Walker, do not call Joe Theismann, William Shatner. You're going to see we have clients calling every day going, I am getting bombarded with phone calls and mailers, my box is full. So the magic number is 65. Obviously, once you qualify for Part A and B, there are supplements that are there to help take care of deductibles. There's even some Medicare Advantage plans that are out there here in North Dakota. But do not call Jimmy Walker. Do not call Joe Theismann. Call our Ihry Insurance office. We have specialists that work there and work with our Medicare clients too. So you're a little young, but your time will come when you're turning 65, or right now, up until December 7th, you have an opportunity, if you are a Medicare client, to look at different options too. If you did call an 800 number and talk to somebody, we always want our clients calling us. Talk to one of our agents. Live person here in North Dakota is a whole lot more informative, looking out for your best interest than we feel an 800 number too. You're always going to get a live person and direct to our consumer. Our consumers, and I think, as you said too, Bridgette, on our ag and farm clients, I think even if you look at Medicare and health insurance, it's a big business, and a lot of times they just don't know where to go. They know they're turning 65. They know they might have a policy or bought it from somebody else. We want to visit with you. We want to make sure that you have the right product and the right price. Again, a lot of those are dictated by the carriers, your age, coverages that you might have. It can be a very confusing process too. So make sure that you review with a professional that specializes in Medicare. But we're a little young, but our time is coming.
And with the health insurance, what is the open enrollment and when are those dates?
Yeah, great question, Justin. And again, as this time of year is kind of a crazy time and limited time for Medicare, but then open enrollment. We all hear about Obamacare, ACA plans. Open enrollment actually started, and it really is designed for individuals that, there's a number of reasons, but that don't have health insurance. There's some different subsidy plans that are out there. We want to have those individual conversations. It actually opened November 1st. And actually, if you already have a marketplace and ACA plan, elections or re-elections need to be made by December 15th for a January 1st. But there are some really good things that happen with ACA plans. Again, it takes, if I was visiting with somebody this morning that they just went on to healthcare.gov. The problem with going just healthcare.gov and not talking to a professional is we want to help educate you on communicate the right plans based on your own personal needs, not just send you to a website and go, here, try to figure out with your income, dependents. There's a lot of great health carriers here in North Dakota, in our bordering states too. We want to make sure we're having those conversations that are best for you and your family, because it's not one size fits all when you talk about open enrollment, healthcare, ACA plans. And, again, there's a lot of people that can qualify for subsidies to help pay for that health insurance, and that's not a conversation we want somebody to be having on a computer with no one helping them out too. So we provide that service. We have specialists that will help you walk through that process and help you pick the right plan that's best for you.
And why would you say that some of the small businesses and farm clients are struggling with finding the right health insurance options?
Yeah, it's a trying time with health insurance. Rising cost of health insurance isn't getting better. Also, too, as we deal with our farm and ag clients and small businesses, they're running a business 7 days a week, 5 days a week, 8 to 5, trying to find employees, trying to manage a business, build revenue, and really feel that, they just don't know the right place to go to help them fill that gap. With health insurance, you look at from our ag clients is, they're protecting their farm, their outbuildings, their land, their machinery, but are they protecting their biggest asset? And that's typically the farmer that in their family, something catastrophic happens. We want to make sure that they don't have to sell machinery, they don't have to sell land, that they are protected from health insurance. We have the options, we have the choices. We want to be visible, we want to be credible with them. And a lot of times, they're running that business every day of the week. They're trying to hire employees, they're trying to manage the books, they're trying to do payroll. The last thing that they think about a lot of times is health insurance and attracting, retaining employees. And that's what we do, is we give them that holistic approach of, every client is a little bit different, but for sure in the ag business, we deal with a lot of clients that, have had the same health plan for 8, 10, 12 years. Their lifestyles changed, their business has grown. They have more employees maybe on the farm. The kids are growing older, where that plan that they bought 8, 10 years ago is really out of date, and we at Ihry Insurance are there to answer those questions. We do seminars where we bring in our farm clients because they have a lot of assets, and really one sickness or accident away from having to make sure that they have the right plan. So sometimes it's too late when they do think about calling us or calling somebody. It's their biggest asset, and we want to make sure that their assets are protected on all lines, and health insurance is their biggest, a lot of times is their biggest expense on a monthly basis is health insurance. We want to make sure that they have the right coverage based on what their needs are too, to make sure that they're in the right place in the right time.
Brady Weisenberger, you have been an excellent source of information for us and for all of our listeners who may want to reach out to you at Ihry Insurance. How could they do that, Brady? How could they reach out to get further details about insurance? And even I see succession planning listed as one of your services.
Yeah, no, I appreciate the time. Succession planning is such a hot topic now. In fact, I had one of our farm clients call in this morning, ask about long-term care and talk about life insurance. And with succession planning, we want to make sure they have a plan. We want to make sure that legacy is their land. You can reach out to us at any of our offices. You can walk in, you can call our office, 701-492-2228, or you can go to ihryinsurance.com. We'd love to visit with you, stop in, talk with one of our agents. We're a multi-lane agency, so we can really help you out with everything. And really appreciate the time to spread the word. We want to be visible and really want to help you out with maybe challenges that you're having, or just simple questions. There's no dumb questions when it comes to health insurance. We're here to help you guys out.
Brady, thank you so kindly. We appreciate it. We look forward to the next opportunity to visit with someone from Ihry Insurance, probably yourself or Bethany Lentz, and we can answer all these questions that come to mind for those of us in the farm community, but elsewhere. Folks, we are going to listen to these messages. We'll be back to touch on headlines and weather here on Weather and Ag in Focus on WDAY.
Need an escape? No, not a vacation. An escape from your basement. Here at Precision Concrete Cutters, we specialize in egress window installation and replacement. So not only do we provide you an escape from your basement, but we provide sunlight into that dark, dreary space to make you feel like you're on vacation. Okay, maybe not, but you will relax knowing that you do have a safe way out.
For more information on egress windows, go to pccnd.com. That's pccnd.com.
It's Jane Ronnie from the Coffee Club, and we love MyPillow. We absolutely love the Giza Dream Sheets, made with the world's best cotton, grown only in a region between the Sahara Desert, the Mediterranean Sea, and the Nile River. Its long staple cotton makes it ultra soft and breathable.
Yeah, let me tell you, this 400 thread count, they are fantastic sheets. They are warm when you need to be warm. They are cool when you need to have very thin layer between you and the mattress. It is a fantastic sleep with Giza Dream Sheets. 60-day money-back guarantee, machine washable and durable, and a 10-year warranty.
Available in multiple colors, styles, and sizes. All right now for a great low price of $29.99 with promo code WDAY. All you need to do is go to MyPillow.com, go to Listener Radio Special Box, put in the promo code WDAY. MyPillow.com, go to Listener Radio Special Box, put in the promo code WDAY.
Promo code WDAY.
People with chronic lower back pain have often tried lots of different things, and most of those things just don't work, and they're searching things that do work. Non-surgical spinal decompression is a type of treatment done with a specialized machine that has very high success rates, and we're lucky to be one of the few clinics in the entire state that has it.
My name is Sydney, and I had debilitating back pain for 11 years. I went into the clinic to receive treatment. After 8 treatments, I had been feeling much better. After those 8 treatments, I was back to playing volleyball, golf. Dr. Z at the clinic helped me get back to the sports that I love.
A research study performed on low back patients that had already failed medical, chiropractic, and physical therapy, in other words, the surgery group, had a 90% success rate with decompression treatment. So whether it's chronic lower back pain, sciatica, knee injuries from running, neck pain, headaches, or shoulder problems, the clinic can help. Find us at theclinicnow.com. That's theclinicnow.com. theclinicnow.com.
Are you utilizing your storage space as efficiently as possible? If you have 8-foot shelving under 16-foot ceilings, you're only using half the space you're paying for. But to use that space the right way requires the right equipment, and you need someone knowledgeable you can trust. Here's Kari Score, whose dad Nels started Dakota Storage Products in West Fargo over a quarter of a century ago.
My dad always said, if you're paying for the space, you might as well use it. It's a simple idea, but it isn't always that easy. That's why we have been here for more than 25 years, helping businesses, farmers, and everyone in our region make their storage space smart, safe, and efficient.
For the largest inventory of pallet racks on the Northern Prairie, along with shelving, loading dock equipment, cabinets, bins, warehouse ladders, and thousands of other storage solutions available, come see the experts at Dakota Storage Products in West Fargo. They'll help you make your storage space fit your needs. Call 701-281-1209 or visit dakotastorageproducts.com on the web. Their warehouse is in West Fargo. Dakota Storage Products, they'll help you store stuff smart.
Hey, Ryan here from Dave's West Fargo Tire and Service. Winter is here and so are we to help you with all of your automotive needs. From oil changes and tires featuring Toyo, Nokian, General, Cooper, Falcon, and more, to battery replacement, brake repair, heating issues, and check engine lights. We are your one-stop shop for your maintenance and repair needs. We would love to be your local neighborhood shop. Check us out on the web or stop by and see us. 1225 Main Avenue East in West Fargo. Your car will be glad you did.
Pucklet Chevrolet Buick GMC in Valley City makes it easy to find your next Chevrolet Buick GMC or pre-owned vehicle by offering a great selection at our best prices possible.
And welcome to WDAY Weather and Ag in Focus. That is Justin Storm, meteorologist. I'm Bridgette Readel, Ag Director, and it is 1:38 in the afternoon. We are thrilled that you are joining us today as we get a chance to touch on our weather, our ag headlines, something we don't always get time to do because this hour gets pretty full, Justin. So kick it off with the
Yes,
weather,
it
if you
does.
would.
Well, I'll tell you what, Bridget, it is very, very nice outside right now, and we got a week of nice weather heading our way after being in the chilly freezer for a little while with high temperatures struggling to get into the 20s. We're finally seeing high temperatures in the 30s, if not almost breaking into the lower 40s, at least on Friday of this upcoming week. 27 degrees right now in Fargo, southwest wind 10 miles an hour, so hey, I consider that pretty light wind comparative to where we live at. We're going to see light wind continuing through the rest of today. High temperatures peak near 32 degrees under mostly sunny skies with that southwest wind around 5 to 15, generally 10 miles an hour or less. Tonight, light wind out of the southwest 5 to 10, mild down to a low of 20 under partly cloudy skies, and we're warming back to the mid 30s tomorrow. Partly cloudy with a south wind again around 5 to 15, so it will feel very nice out there. We'll finally get to start melting away a little bit of snow and some ice out there, but one thing to keep in mind is as we do so, mornings might be a little slick, either with a little bit of frost or maybe that refreezing process of whatever does melt. Obviously, it will refreeze overnight, but that'll be happening over the next couple days. I think the main concern will just be over the next day or two. By the time we get to about Thursday or Friday, I think most of what would refreeze will basically be gone anyways. Speaking of Thursday, Thanksgiving, another nice day. More clouds around, though, the next couple days. We'll call it partly sunny. Slight chance for a few flurries, maybe a pocket of a little bit of a light drizzle or a light combination of the two through the morning, maybe into the early afternoon, but that'll be very hit or miss, very widely spread. Not expecting much or anything insignificant about it. Lower 30s on Thursday, but we warm up close to 40 on Friday, mid 30s on Saturday, and closer to 30 on Sunday. Bridget, I know we were kind of talking about, well, what's heading our way next week because of the big Ag Expo that's going on Tuesday and Wednesday, and you said that it always seems to storm around that time period, and yesterday we had mentioned that, yes, it does look like there is a storm around that time frame. Still looks to be the case, although I do have my thoughts that it is going to shift further south out of our area. Model's pretty split on it right now. One wants to hold it over our area. The other one's trying to push it further south in South Dakota. Generally, those kinds of storm systems will track just a bit further south out of our area. But of course, we're talking about something 7 and 8 days out in the future. Still time for things to change, but I want to say that we won't get a direct hit on that. But it's just too far out to really know exactly what it's going to do.
Well, it is a little bit off in the distance yet, like you said, it's 7 to 8 days before we get a better feel for it. But one of our faithful listeners just sent a comment. She'd be okay with the fact that it could be 70 degrees, perhaps this week, next week. She'd be all right with that. I've got bad news about winter in North Dakota. We're here, and we can get to 40 maybe, but 70 seems a little out of reach for us right now.
Right, you know, if we could get rid of all the snow, maybe we could break into the 50s, but you know, that's going to be pretty difficult to do. I think 40 is going to be a struggle as the way it is right now.
Well, if we talk about these alternatives to weed control that include a weed zapper or even a flamethrower, maybe that'll drive our heat up a little bit. How's that sound?
You know, they actually
So I
sometimes
know
use
you have been
flamethrowers. Yes, but I was
Yeah,
going to say
yeah.
they sometimes use flamethrowers out at the airports to help dissipate with fog. They either do they'll either spray like a chemical or they'll heat the air around the area to help get rid of the fog in the airports. And that's what you had reminded me of when you said, "Well, let's just burn the weeds or electrocute them." Let's hear more on the weed zapper, Bridget.
Okay, so these are a couple of different items actually, whether you want to electrify them or whether you want to burn them. So, for instance, we know oftentimes I talk about pesticide control getting that done chemically, but there's other ways, right? Perhaps you are a certified organic grower, or maybe you're concerned about that terrible weed out there, water hemp, that we talk about so often, Justin. Well, if your water hemp is up above your crop canopy, so it's taller than your soybeans, and you're coming along with this weed zapper, and it's literally like a toolbar. So think of a long piece of metal that runs parallel behind your tractor, and it has wires that hang down from it like a rope wick, and it will also have electricity running through it. And as it touches those weeds, like the water hemp, it electrocutes them so that that water hemp, because it has plenty of water content in it, it is a living thing. It will take that dose of electricity, go right through it to the ground. I'm not saying it's going to turn brown and be smoking right after it's touched, but in time, that weed's going to go down and die and not produce viable seed. So that's one option. And this has come up a couple times today as I've talked about it. There's another one out there as well, and that's propane fired, and it literally is a small flamethrower. So it puts a flame down between the rows, but like between your soybeans, between your corn, and it would burn off those weeds that are not the plant that you want there. How's that sound?
It sounds awesome, and obviously those two different kinds of methods are going to have different types of applications and time. I would imagine the flamethrower works better when they're kind of just emerging, where the zapper is maybe a better option when the plant is a little more mature. Maybe I should ask, do I have my understanding correctly on those?
Well, I think they would be. Now, I haven't had the opportunity to run either one of these pieces of equipment yet, but if anybody has one and would like me to come out and see it, please go ahead, give me a call. I am right there to test drive this with you. Now, the way I understand it, when you look for the weed zapper with the electrical charge, they need to be a bigger weed. You're going to see them up above the canopy. But if you're right, if you're going to think about that flamethrower, you can address that flame down in between the rows. So this wouldn't work in, say, a wheat crop for the flamethrower because the crop is planted too densely. You wouldn't actually have rows between it. But you could do the electrification if you had weeds standing up above your wheat crop. So a couple different applications to do it. I'm not quoting any prices on this piece of equipment. I just know that they exist.
You know, I'm sure there's someone out there listening who has or has used one or both of these pieces of equipment. Why don't you do Bridgette and I a solid? Give us a phone call, 701-293-9000. Let us know how it works, how effective is it, and would you recommend it for the price tag that maybe it costs? Again, that phone number, 701-293-9000. We'd love to hear from you because, well, me and Bridgette just like burning and electrocuting things, so we want to hear how it actually works.
Now, if you would like, I do know a follower on Twitter who does in fact use the flamethrower in crop. He farms in Indiana, not far out of Crawfordsville. And I could, let's hear from some listeners. If you have an interest and you'd like to know more, just drop me a quick message at ag@flagfamily.com and let me know. If I get 3 or 4 of you that say, yeah, I'd like to hear about that, that's a pretty good indication that more are listening and curious. And I'll see if I can't line him up and get him to share his experiences. I've seen the pictures, the video of it, and it's pretty cool.
Right, and I just got an email in here, Bridgette. They wanted to know, are those common pieces of equipment, or is it kind of like pretty sporadic that people use them?
I think it's very specialized. Now, if you are a certified organic grower, this probably fits into your repertoire a lot better than someone who's a conventional grower and using sprayers and pesticides. But I don't think that they are going to be uncommon, especially as we see more and more discussions about green regenerative agriculture and wanting to do things differently. So I do think that this is probably something we'll see more of. As far as the manufacturers for them, they are a specialty built product. It's not that they're going to come with a John Deere or a Case logo on them at this point. Somebody else is probably building those.
Great.
So check your farming game. Maybe they're on there.
You know, I bet you there's a DLC or a download for the game where you can get the torch or the zapper. I'm gonna have to go digging for it in there and see if I can use this thing because that just sounds like a blast. But when Weather and Ag in Focus returns after we get an update from the American Ag Network, we're gonna talk about a big old smelly pile of money.
Hi, this is Kevin Pfeiffer with Pfeiffer's Auction Company. Pfeiffer's upcoming November auctions include nearly 1,000 acres of crop and pasture land in McLean County, 192 acres of cropland in Wells County, 640 acres of cropland in McHenry County near Upham, North Dakota, 320 acres of exceptional crop and hunting land in Ransom County, and 310 acres of crop and pasture land in Barnes County, North Dakota. View these auctions and many more land and farm equipment retirement auctions at Pfeiffer's.com.
It's the first unlimited full-service and exterior works wash club at Don's Car Washes. You can have the best of both worlds with unlimited interior and exterior washes at the Don's on 13th Avenue and unlimited exterior washes at the Don's on 52nd Avenue. Truly unlimited washes for only $49.99 per month. Join Don's Unlimited Wash Club. Exterior unlimited washes starting as low as $19.99 per month. It's never been easier to put a smile on your car at Don's Car Washes.
Some things are never really a choice, like wearing your muddy boots in the house, quitting before the job's done, buying seed without service. They just don't make sense. That's why AgriGold gives you the best of both worlds. We're big enough to deliver top-tier genetics and traits, but small enough to give you the personalized service you need to thrive. Because like you, we know choosing seed without service isn't really a choice. Need help choosing? Learn more at chooseagrigold.com.
The North Dakota Crop Improvement and Seed Association is proud to be a partner of NDSU Bison Athletics. We're passionate about cultivating careers for the future of agriculture. We support the College of Agriculture, Food Systems, and Natural Resources at NDSU and its efforts to grow the farmers of tomorrow across the Midwest. We are enhancing North Dakota agriculture through the production, promotion, and distribution of pure seed. Learn more about North Dakota Crop Improvement and our mission at ndcropimprovement.com.
A mostly lower market trade on Tuesday. This is the American Ag Network. of Jesse Allen with this closing market update. Well, markets ended up trading both sides of unchanged, but drifted lower as we got to the session close, with Chicago and KC wheat leading to the downside with moderate losses in corn, soybeans, and in spring wheat. Bean oil held up with some green on the screen, but followed crude oil off of its highs on the session on the day Tuesday. Overall, we're just entering that time period where there's not a lot of fresh news in the markets, and it's going to be mainly headline-driven, but also a lack of volume as the holiday malaise sets in. Over in livestock, cash cattle activity not really picking up on Tuesday, at least as we head into the afternoon, and it'll be interesting to see if we can find any activity as we head towards Wednesday, with traders seemingly going to want to try to get business done and get out of the market ahead of Thanksgiving and ahead of Friday's trade action, but still little action in the livestock markets on the day today. December core down 1 3/4, 657 3/4. March down 3.5, 660. January beans down 4 3/4, 1432. March down 3, 1438 3/4. Bean meal in December down 210 a ton, 409.30. December bean oil 85 points higher, 73.85. Chicago wheat December down 6 3/4, 792.5. March Chicago wheat down 6 3/4, 811.5. KC wheat December down 8.5 at 925 3/4. Spring wheat for December, that was down 2 1/4, 945 3/4. March down 3 3/4 at 950. Lean hogs December up 45, 84.25. February down 7, 90.07. Feeder cattle January down 95, 181.67. March down 52, 184.57. December live cattle up 25, 153.80. February down 30, 156.42. April down 22, 159.90. You're listening to the American Ag Network. I'm Jesse Allen reporting.
And welcome back to Weather and Ag in Focus. 1:51 in the afternoon, 28 degrees outside Fargo, sunny skies. I'm meteorologist Justin Storm with Ag Director Bridgette Readel. Oh, and I've been waiting to get to this one, Bridgette. This is going to be a fun conversation. I know you maybe have been looking forward to it a little bit more than I have. And what we're talking about is this big old manure pile in the U.S. history. Some may say that the roses smell like poo, 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 but others say it's a sweet stink of money. Bridgette, what's going on with the largest pile of manure in the U.S. history?
Well, I found this story, but the honest truth is this pile doesn't exist anymore. It was part of the stockyards at Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Now, if y'all remember, not that long ago, we had a couple of guests on who talked about the stockyards and what it was like to go and work there back in the 40s, 50s, etc. It had a 92-year history. Most recently, it has become a Stockyard Experience Museum where you can go and see the pictures of it. But while it was in operation and they were moving thousands of head of sheep, cattle, and hogs through every day, well, they had to put that manure somewhere, and they had what was considered the biggest pile of manure in the entire world. not far from I-29. In fact, during the summer months before this pile was removed, and by the way, the guys who worked there thought it was about 20 feet tall and about a football field at its base, and it just kept getting bigger. Well, in the summers, it could actually catch fire due to spontaneous combustion, because I don't know if everyone realizes this, manure piles get hot and flames would break
Yes,
out.
they
The fire
do.
department would have to come over to douse it. So this was wild.
Wow.
In fact, the city of Sioux, actually I said Sioux Falls, this was in Sioux City, just to the south of that. Sioux City talked about the fact that they were getting some flack from the city. So what they did was they put up a sign that said the smell of gold, because they wanted people to know, with all of the cattle moving through that stockyard, it meant so much to the area. So in the mid 60s, because of the proximity to the Missouri River, the EPA pretty much said, that's enough. The manure mountain has to go. And so area farmers got to come in, take all that manure, spread it on fields and use it, and it was gone.
I can only
think
imagine
it's
how long it
amazing.
would take to move all that.
Absolutely. Well, think how long it took them to put it up. And they said at one point in time in this story, the gentleman who used to work there, and he's 85 now, he said, now look, I'm smart enough to know that you cannot trap odor behind a fence, because the city wanted to divert the smell with a fence. He said it's like putting up an 18-inch barrier to keep your neighbor's cat out of your flower bed. So that really didn't help. People could still see it, they could still smell it, and they knew that the stockyards were right behind that fence. So I thought that was a wild story. Something that goes along with it, when we had that conversation with folks from the Sioux Falls Stockyard experience, they mentioned the Judas goat. Do you remember what that was?
I think they were leading, was it the cattle into the yard, or into the slaughterhouse, was it?
It was a goat that would lead the sheep, because sheep don't herd well, but they'll follow. And so they had a goat, and there was even one at the West Fargo stockyards to help load trailers. And you'd get the goat on its way, and the sheep would follow. And they did that at stockyards as well. And it was called the Judas goat, because he led everybody to their slaughter. Well, I'm not sure if you knew this, but I have since found out that those goats were rewarded for their work. Want to take a guess at what it was?
You know what? I don't even think I have a guess. What were they being rewarded with?
Cigarettes. They got to eat a cigarette. So these goats had a nicotine dependency, and that was what they worked for. Is they knew that after they took the sheep up and they came back down, they got a cigarette. So
Yeah, they'd be able to get their
nicotine
fix
worked.
after work.
Absolutely.
That's hilarious.
And, animals like humans can be trained. I had a buddy in high school and college. He had a racing goats and a petting zoo, and the pigs, I said racing goats, I meant racing pigs. The pigs would race because they knew at the end of the race they got a water trough full of Kool-Aid, and pigs have a sweet tooth, so they liked it.
You know, I still
Today is
can't
just
get
fun
over the
facts.
whole. This is great facts, Bridgette. We'll just give this goat a cigarette. Here you go. Go herd up all these sheep. We'll give you some cigarettes when you're done. It sounds like something you'd see out of what is the game called? Goat Simulator, where you're running around as a goat.
I'm going to say this was one of those things that not everybody knew about, but it's there. So those are just some of the stories that I pick up from time to time. Again, fun facts about the history of agriculture. And for those of you who might be looking at attending meetings, conventions, seminars, and learning what's going on today in ag or down the road, because so much technology is coming at us, please make sure to pay attention to the calendar events that's coming up in any major ag paper right now. Just some of the ones that I can think of is, again, next week's Northern Ag Expo. That's going to focus a lot on agronomy and row crop farming. I also know that NDSU is going to be hosting a series of meetings this winter talking about transitions as you move from one owner of the farm to another. Marketing, because we have so much going on with crop inputs and commodity prices. Then all of our commodities will have their own meetings, such as the Corn and Soybean Expo on Valentine's Day in February. And also in February will be the National Cattlemen's Beef Association's national meeting in New Orleans. You're welcome to register for that. So lots going on. There's always new learning and technology in agriculture. just the same way there is in weather. And what's your last words on weather to wrap up our show today, Justin?
Well, I'll tell you what, Bridget, the forecast is looking really nice. It's right where it should be for this time of year. We should be having high temperatures near 35 degrees, and for the most part, give or take a little bit, that's right where we're going to be sticking around through the bulk of this week. Sunny skies today, 32, light wind out of the southwest. We will have a subtle breeze tomorrow, but temperatures a little warmer near 35 under partly cloudy skies, and we'll drop back down to the lower 30s on Thanksgiving. The cloud cover will roll back in, but we'll still have periods of sunshine, or maybe I should say clouds mixed with some sun. At the same time, can't quite rule out the possibility of a little bit of a light drizzle, some snow flurries, or maybe a few isolated pockets of a combination, but I'm not expecting it to bring in any traveling conditions to our area. I think our more, I won't even say concerning, but our better potential for some slippery roads, it's just going to come through the late overnights into the early mornings when we go through that freeze-thaw process, the frost on the road. You might get a few slick spots, but overall not too bad. By the end of the week on Friday, we're pushing close to 40, but colder weather does look like it's on the way, but it does look like it's going to hold off until at least the middle of next week. So there is some good news that we have some nice temperatures, at least for the next 6 days, before we see the colder temperatures returning by the end of next week. But that will do it for myself and Bridget today for Weather and Ag in Focus. We'll have another full look at the forecast if you just missed it with the Jay Thomas Show coming up here at 2:06. We thank you for listening to Weather and Ag in Focus. Again, remember you can find us on Facebook and YouTube as well as Acres TV. The Jay Thomas Show comes up next.
970 WDAY AM and 93.